All right, we got to make sure, today we have to make sure we have our insurance forms, the green forms for the vision and dental, make sure those are handed in today. Today's Tuesday, when we talked about last week, they're due today, so make sure you get them in. Also, Matt, there was a suggestion about making sure, we got to figure out a way to coordinate with the crew room when we want to hold actually at the press and we want to put it away. Because a lot of times, sometimes if we put in the middle between presses and it's hard to work around even though it's not going up right then. So we got to try and work on how we're going to coordinate that with everybody. Okay? So that was suggesting because it's really too tight to put over there. Okay? We have Kaizen event today at 2 o'clock, or 2:30. 2:30 today over by Press 60. If you signed up for the screw cleaning part, so make sure you're there. And then Thursdays is at 2 o'clock, so make sure if you're signed up for the mold removal part, that you're there at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Okay? The improvements we had, obviously, excuse me. So before, a lot of the shop boxes, and I think we'll see a lot of things for what we're doing with the shop boxes, is that parts going in and just stuffed in the box so you can't see what it is. It's just wrapped up and it's hard to find. And obviously Nick took it and changed it and made it so it's coordinated, it's actually labeled, and we know where everything's at. So it makes it a lot easier to do remote change when you got to look for that stuff than it is to dig through there. So let's give Nick a big hand. Nice job. Good job. We talked about how Edmondson was getting ready. But then Robert Falcon Scott presents quite a contrast to Edmondson. In the years leading up to the race for the South Pole, he could have trained like a maniac on cross-country skis and taken $1,000 and taken a 1,000-mile bike ride. He did not. He could have gone to live with the Eskimos. He did not. He could have practiced more with dogs, making himself comfortable with choosing dogs over ponies. Ponies, unlike dogs, sweat on their hides, so they become encased in ice sheets. Then feathered, post hole, and struggle in the snow, and don't generally eat meat. Edmondson planned to kill some of the weaker dogs along the way to fuel the stronger dogs. Scott chose ponies. Scott also got on motor sleds that had been fully tested in the most extreme South Pole conditions. As it turned out, the motor sleds engines cracked within the first few days. The ponies failed early, and his team slogged through most of the journey by manhandling the harnesses themselves with their sleds, trudging across the snow and pulling the sleds behind them. Unlike Scott, Edmondson systematically built enormous buffers for unforeseen events. When setting supply depots, Edmondson not only flagged the primary depot, he placed 20 black pendants, easy to see against the white snow, in precise increments per mile on either side, giving himself a target more than 10 kilometers wide in case he got slightly off course coming back in a storm. To accelerate segments of his return journey, he marked his path every quarter mile with a packing case remnants and every 8 miles with black flags hoisted upon bamboo poles. Scott, in contrast, put one single flag in his primary depot and left no markings on his path, leaving himself exposed to catastrophe if he went even a little bit off course. Edmondson stored 3 tons of supplies for his 5 men starting out versus Scott 1 ton for 17 men. In his final push for the South Pole, with 82 degrees, Edmondson carried enough extra supplies to miss every single depot and still have enough left over to go another 100 miles. Scott ran everything dangerously close to his calculations, so that missing even one supply depot would bring disaster. A single detail aptly highlights the difference in their approaches. Scott brought 1 thermometer for a key altitude measurement device, and he exploded in an outburst of rapid consequence when it broke. Edmondson brought 4 such thermometers to cover for accident. Okay? So we'll continue on what the difference is. There's a video here to talk about St. Patrick's Day.